order at 6:30 p.m. And we'll start with any public comments. Seeing none, I would like to add a very brief executive session to the end for personnel. It will only be a couple of minutes. Anything else? Any other changes to the agenda? Okay, so we'll jump right into the assessor. Need to attest to certification, the PVR 4155, no appeal or suit pending. So Linda,
Right. Yeah,
do we
this
have any
is,
appeals or suits pending?
no,
Okay.
nope, we're all good. This closes out the grand list for the year. I need to look back to see, I don't remember doing this. Do you remember ever signing these before? Yeah.
I do not. I do not.
So, I mean, it basically, it goes in the grand list to say that it's closed, so you can't be contested. There's nothing else to do. So it could be signed by the whole board or the chairperson with the board's okay. And it just goes, it doesn't go to the state, just goes in the vault.
Okay. So do you think this is a new form that we have to sign, or I've never
No.
seen it before?
No, it just, I don't recall it being done.
Well, I'm glad the grand list is set, and I think that Jeanette can sign the names of the entire board if we want to make a motion to do that.
I make a motion that we authorize Jeanette to enter the signatures of the select board on certificate PVR 4155.
Second.
Second.
All right, Joe second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye.
And unanimous? Thank you, Linda. Good job.
Yep, thanks.
New business, we have Nikki on with us. The GMP request to install anchor to extend public electric line on Villager Loop. Nikki, could you tell us what this is all about?
Absolutely. Thanks for your time. The new there's a new owner. I believe the address is 668 Villager Loop, who purchased a piece of property that has an existing structure on it and is looking to get service to it. He started the process back mid-November, tried reaching out to landowners for approval for easements. I believe his realtor actually tried as well. He was able to obtain one easement. The landowner across the street, we were unable to. Mid-January, I started assisting him with emails, phone calls, as well as a letter also to the landowner across the street, and have not been able to make contact. So I'm requesting that the town allows us to attach to already an existing telephone pole that's there, and install an anchor on the back side of it, dead end anchor, and serve this new customer. Bob Carrier is the new landowner.
So there will be no new poles planted.
No new poles, just using an existing pole that has absolutely nothing on it.
Does this interfere with the landowner across the street in any way?
The pole is already there, so if it interfered, it's been interfering for quite some time. I believe, like I said, telephone set it some time ago, many years. My guess is that at some point, maybe the landowner at that time was looking to have service. It used to be a telephone set area. So telephone would have set the poles, and then maybe the job just stopped. The only interference would be the anchor, which is just going to be about 15 feet beyond the pole. So I would say no, it doesn't look like it would be where a driveway or anything like that would be going. It would be requiring trimming the trees over the town right away and around that existing pole.
Is there any questions from the board?
Nope.
Any questions from the public? Okay. Hearing none, does somebody want to make a motion to approve this so that this lot can have electricity to it?
I make
I
a
make
motion
a-
that we approve the GMP request to install an anchor to extend the electric line to 68 Villager Loop.
Second.
And seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Unanimous.
Aye.
Thank you. And so Jeanette will do that as well. Thank you, Nikki. That was short and sweet tonight.
Thanks for your time. Have a great evening.
Thanks.
Vicky,
Okay. Yes,
so
yes, ma'am.
do you want me to sign that as well? Then do you want to,
Yes,
okay, for the whole board?
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want them?
Is that what the motion was?
No,
Yeah.
so I just didn't know if you wanted,
So
The
I can
motion was
sign it.
just to approve the request.
yeah, it was just to, do
Okay.
you want to make
We need a
another
separate
motion?
motion to
Make
sign
another
it.
motion?
to sign?
Can you just make another motion that Jeanette will have the whole board sign that?
I make a motion that the GMP request that we approved, that Jeanette be authorized to add the signatures of the select board to that form.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks.
Aye.
There you go, Jeanette.
Is that
Now it's
good?
official.
We should-
Okay.
Okay.
Is that good for Nikki? I'm guessing that's good for her. Yes, okay.
Okay, now we're gonna talk about Jim Lynch transfer station charges. I think Marco's here. I don't know if Travis is gonna speak to this as well. So who wants to speak first? Marco,
Okay, I guess I'll go, sorry. So just to remind the board, we've had this issue ongoing for a couple of years now. From time to time, I bring it up to the board. The board's been really generous in trying to give Mr. Lynch some time to catch up with this bill. It finally, early December, the board instructed me to send a certified letter saying, kind of a one last attempt to reach out and say that we would be discussing it in public session. The holidays came and went and haven't heard from him. So I was discussing it with my liaison, Joe Mahan, and we decided to bring it up again in public session. So here we are.
yeah, so the previous discussions, just to clarify for everybody else, were an executive session. We were trying to
Right.
take care of getting these charges paid without bringing it to a public session, but clearly that's where we're at right now.
Right.
Can you give us the amount that's due, Marco?
It's roughly $2,000 with interest.
So what are some of the options that we can pursue to try to?
Well, I reached out to Bob Fisher to
Mhm.
see what, in terms of maybe placing a lien, and he suggested that we get a judgment lien from a small claims court. And with that, that could be then filed in the land records on his property as a lien. That would cost about $1,000 to do. So
Sarah,
Is it $1,000 because we're having Bob Fisher do it?
if he were to help us do it, it would be up to $1,000. That would be if he were to do it help us with it, but there's no reason why we couldn't
Yeah,
attempt ourselves,
I filed in small claims
Yeah.
on a couple of customers and it was,
Sure.
it's not a very arduous process.
I didn't think so.
Yeah,
um,
just question.
And I think, so I mean, with that lien through a small claims court, that lasts 8 years. If we were to put like a builder's lien. We would have to keep perfecting it every so many months.
Every 12.
Um,
But the only time that lien then activates is if he tries to either take out a construction loan or sell the property, right?
Or refinance, yeah, anything having to do, sure.
And currently, he has no charging privileges at the land.
No, he's been COD for a very long time.
And these charges go back how many years, Marco?
Probably 3.
Okay. Board, Sarah?
And I apologize if you've already said this, did he, was he offered an opportunity to set up a monthly payment plan?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
And that hasn't brought us
He's
any.
been offered basically every opportunity to come up with anything that he's comfortable with that works for him, we would work with, and we just haven't, that step has never presented itself.
Got it. Okay.
Other board comments, questions? Members of the public? I don't see Mr. Lynch here tonight at our meeting. So I would like to see Marco pursue small claims, probably with, and I'm familiar with it too. It's very easy.
Okay, sure.
I think that we can do it on our own and save the attorney's fees.
Yes,
So-
it's like $170 to
Yeah.
file.
Okay.
Do we
I'll
have to,
Yes,
pursue
Joe.
it.
Yes,
so
Joe.
question, do we actually have to go to court with this, or is it something that's kind of done, or we have to have a representative go to court and stuff for our behalf?
I don't know
I've
now
never-
with the COVID, if they're doing it differently. When we filed, we could do we could do everything on paper, and then it was only if the person challenged it that we ended up having to go and have a hearing.
Got it.
Okay,
So it's probably still mostly paper. I think it's something we can probably work through and say.
yeah, I'll start the process, and if I have any questions, maybe I could reach out to Sarah since you
Mhm.
seem to have gone through this, so if that's okay.
Keeper.
Anything else on this?
No.
Okay. Thanks for that, Joe.
Thank
No.
you.
Thanks, Marco.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now we're going to unfinished business, the subcommittee report on the town meeting location and options. So Sarah's here, Dan's here, Andy.
We haven't met.
Okay. Can you guys try to do something before the next meeting?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, which it will be March 2nd, which would have been town meeting day.
How appropriate.
How appropriate. That's great. Thank you. So Jeanette, can you put that on the agenda for March 2nd?
Yes.
Thank you. And we also need to keep on our radar, we need to finalize the budget in March. And we may want to be doing that as well. So we want to set a time for that, I think. Because that will give us approximately 2 months before our town meeting, hopefully. So, all right. Moving right along to economic development. We have the Dover Park light fixture replacement. Review and approve quotes, and I think that would be Shannon coming to us with this.
Is. So we have a light at Dover Park right on Country Club Road that was broken, just the bulb part, not the whole pole, which has happened previously. There aren't many places to buy these. So I did contact the original place we bought them from. Jeanette gave me the last place we bought one from. I searched for a few more, but they really just don't exist. So Visible Light, which is now who sells straight from the manufacturer, came in at $1,690 for the fixture and freight. And then Needham Electric was $2,161. So I would like to purchase that from Visible Light and save a few $100s.
I have a question. This seems to be some kind of recurring issue every couple of years or so. Should we try to get two if we can get the same freight on it? Because the freight is pretty expensive.
It is, and I actually asked them that, and Eric and I talked about it. So it would be the same freight to get two shipped in.
Oh. Okay. Is there, I just hope there's no danger that this particular bulb assembly is not going to be manufactured in the future.
It seems there's a lot of places that sell them, but it's just like a catalog from that manufacturer, and there's very few that actually like vend them. It's very strange. But my original quote was, please send me 1 for 1 and 2 just in case, so that we can have one on hand.
Dan?
Across the street from the town hall, I put LED lights in. Swan put it in for the Dover Historical Society. It's much less than that. He did them out here at the Coffee Barn as well.
Yeah,
So
but
I don't know why.
these are in that row of existing fixtures, so we would want one that matches what's along the Valley Trail.
I got you.
They're very unique lights.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's one that's.
Oh, I didn't get, I thought it was a
5.
sign light. I didn't think it was
Yeah.
a street light. I
No,
got you.
it's the street lamps, and it's a row of 4 or 5, and it's one in the middle that's out.
I stand
Clearly
corrected.
out in the middle. We need to get it fixed.
Mhm.
So would somebody like to make a motion to approve the quote from Visible Light?
I make a motion that we approve the purchase of the light from Visible Light,
For $1,690.
$1,690.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Joe.
Did you want me to get a second one?
No, it doesn't seem like there's any value. I mean, it would be
Okay.
great to have one because sometimes the lead times on these are a long time,
It
right?
is, yeah.
So I got a
Hmm.
question. What type of light bulb is this now? What type of,
It's
Is
not the bulb, it's the whole globe, like everything that's on top of the light post.
okay. But is it broken?
Yes.
Yeah.
And how did it get broken?
I think they happen in different ways. I'm not
Okay.
I'm not sure how this one went down, but it's been, I think, since fall. I think, Travis, is it still I think it's still in the building over there, right? The broken one? I think it's happened a couple of times. So Dave came looking for a replacement, and this is what I was able to find.
Right, but the reason why I asked the question is it's something that, why is it breaking? If it's the assembly, just so we
I
can
don't-
try to not have it happen.
I think
We've
it's
had a
more,
couple there.
I think people are breaking them perhaps.
But you're saying there's vandalism at the park.
I think so, but I'm
You
not
can
positive.
say it. It's okay to say it, Shannon.
Well, but I don't know if that's exactly what happened, so
So was there a police report on this?
I have no idea.
Eric?
Dave actually brought this light to me well before there was snow on the ground, and it had been broken,
Wow.
for a while, and Dave actually spent time like kind of rigging it back together to keep it on the post. And then I think just in addition to being broken, like then being broken out in the elements, like it just started to deteriorate and it was starting to fall apart. The fact that Shannon had to dig as hard as she did just to find where we bought these things from tells me that it's not something that happens on a regular enough basis to be super concerned about it. We need these lights. We need the same lights. We can't just start. I mean, unless we were going to replace all of them at once, which would cost us much more than the one assembly, we need to just replace it. I don't think it's nobody knows when it was damaged. So to file a police report about the damage, not knowing, what happened, it didn't happen. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Randy, if we don't have, evidence of the vandalism, it's going to be kind of hard to do anything about it.
Right. Travis?
Yeah, those globes, they get damaged, like Eric said, from the weather and everything else. They get a crack in them, and then the whole globe will fill up with water right around the light bulb itself. So It's just been a problem. This will be the second one we've done since I've come here in the last 2 years, so.
The park's not, just so you know, that park's not that old. I'm just wondering what the life expectancies of these things are. If we should look at, before we buy another one, if we should change it out to something that's gonna last longer at, it's almost $2,000 per, so they're expensive.
The last time, I believe it was a car that ran into one of the poles. So our insurance covered part of it. Am I right, Jeanette?
Yes, yeah, a plow truck hit it and knocked it over.
So,
Yeah.
and where was this, the maker of the motion was Sarah? Who made the motion? Dan.
And
Where were you, where was this money coming from? Which, was it coming from the regular maintenance, building, or is it coming from economic development? It's a property that we own now, so I believe it should be coming out of straight maintenance. But economic development are the people who are bringing us the quote. Dan, you made the motion.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is.
All right.
I would,
So
I would
let's,
assume. Eric?
whoa. I was gonna suggest we pull the motion back and reformulate this and then get the motion the way we want it to be. So, Sarah, Dan, would you withdraw your motion for a moment?
I withdraw my motion.
And the
To
second
replace
came
the vote.
from who? Who seconded that?
Would have been Joe.
Joe,
Was it me?
I don't know that anybody seconded it,
Okay.
actually.
Nobody
So
seconded.
then we didn't have a motion.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's- it
All right,
got-
now who wants to speak? Eric.
I understand that it's a town-owned property. I do feel like trails, the park, any outdoor recreation does fall under our department. So if it's an expense that needs to come from the economic development department, then we can cover it.
Well, I can go off on that one pretty heavy right now because we have historically, when we have a project that's completed and it's operating and we own it, it comes under just regular maintenance. And so, and Joe and I will butt heads on this day and
No
night.
comment.
But it's one of our facilities now. How is it any different than the town hall? Do you want to start paying for lights at the town hall? I don't think so. So, and that's my reasoning. I'm open to hearing other.
Yeah,
Anybody?
it's, as I've always talked about, now that we're starting up a park and recs committee, that's always been my thought process, that a little bit of money could go towards some of the maintenance towards all these nice parks and towards light bulbs that we're putting into it, a percentage or whatever, but that's fine. I mean, wherever the money comes from, we just got to get the light bulb.
Right.
But in the future, I think, not to say anything for Travis, I think it should have really been Travis's department getting the light bulb though, but I'm glad that Shannon took care of it. That is his department for that sort of stuff. Just for future.
Thank you, Joe. Any other board comments on this? Any public comments? Dan, would you, Jeanette?
I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure the last one, which I ended up ordering, the one that got hit by the plow truck, came out of Valley Trail maintenance and expenses.
I second that.
That she can't make a motion.
I didn't think the motion, but I'm pretty sure that's where it came from, but I
Valley-
could double check, but that's under highway, it's under the highway equipment, Valley Trail
Under
maintenance.
highway,
and
Under,
expenses.
yeah, but not under economic development.
No,
Right.
So Dan, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I make a motion that out of the town's maintenance fund that we replace the lamp for 1,600 and whatever it is from that company. What was the name of the company again?
Visible light.
Right.
Visible Light.
Do I have a
Second.
second? All right, Joe seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And Scott raised his hand too. Yes. So that was unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Shannon, for doing that.
Thank you.
We have a thank you letter from the Mountaineer.
Oh, yes. So attention, Select Board and Economic Development Department. Royal and Ned Wilson, the owners of the Mountaineer, wish to thank the Select Board and the Town of Dover for the 2020 Do It Program grant. This grant went towards the installation of new windows in the front of the inn. The previous windows were original to the inn, were hard to clean, had no efficiency rating, did not allow for airflow, and had an older look when viewed from Handle Road. The new windows address all these concerns. Thank you again for your consideration, Royal and Ned.
Very nice. Thank you. We always like thank yous.
I know, it's fun.
It's nice. All right, we are now moving on to choosing a municipal project manager for Valley Trail A-. Eric.
Okay, so just as a quick update, you guys had asked me last time whether or not this municipal project manager could be funded by the grant money we had received from the state for the project. After another extensive conversation with our contact, Ross Goen at the state, he did confirm that when this project was initiated in 2014, the select board had decided that they would incur all engineering and project management expenses. Now, the reason for that was when we got the original grant, that original grant was only going to cover, then anyway, the cost of installing the project. So that we were going to end up spending money either on the engineering and management, or we were going to end up spending it on the back end for the project to be completed. So in talking with Ross, he said, if it's something you guys want to do, we can shuffle all these things around and change the way the grant's laid out for you guys. And, it's a few hoops to jump through, but we can do it to get that money available to cover the project manager. And at that point I said, well, doesn't that mean that we're just going to end up paying on the back end of the project when we try to complete it? And he said, yeah, it does. So in my mind, and as long as you guys agree, that it doesn't make a ton of sense for us to do that at this point. If we're going to be spending the money on the project one way or the other, we literally would save ourselves a ton of work to not try to change the way that grant is laid out. So as long as you guys are okay with it, I would just continue on the path that we've been on, where we would be incurring engineering and project management costs for Valley Trail A-. Are you guys okay with that?
I'm probably okay with this. I just don't know how much the project management's going to cost. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So.
And we'll go to get that
We're
information.
going to know that right now. So then you're asking me to make a decision without knowing what's going to cost.
Okay, so then I guess we can delay that question for the moment. I just wanted to lay it out to you that one way or another, we were going to end up spending the money. So
Whoa. So Joe, let me clarify. So if the project manager costs too much, we're going to consider not doing A- and give.
No, it's not about not considering it, but I mean, I'm not saying not to do the trail. I'm just wondering how much it costs. I don't know what it's going to cost.
Well, we don't know that yet. So, and
Well,
we don't know what.
Didn't Eric get some quotes or something for that, Eric?
That's the next part of what I'll be talking about.
Yeah. Great.
Vicki, can I continue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So the Trails and Rec Committee for the town of Dover all sat down. We had 6 of these at the ready proposals. Now, these proposals were basically just a bird's eye view of these companies, okay? It wasn't a specific program or project management plan for our project for us to look at and say, this is how much it costs from each place. This, we literally had a bird's eye view of these companies. So there were 6 of them to choose from. The members of that group filled out a scoring rubric similar to what Shannon and I did for the web development RFP. There was one company that rose to the top with a score of 144. The next closest score was 132. And that's going by scores of a max of 20 per person. So, I mean, they really separated themselves from the rest of the pack with what they had. That company is Fuss and O'Neill. They are out of White River Junction, Vermont. Their most recent projects were completed in Brandon, Williston, South Burlington, Stowe, and Thetford, and all had to do with, either recreational or foot traffic paths, sidewalks, or trails in these towns. So the step in the process now, I don't have a specific number to tell you this is how much the project manager is going to cost, just because we haven't made it that far yet. We had to pick one to ask. So now I send them. Ross basically provided me with kind of a form letter to fill out, like, hey, which I've done. It's basically finished at this point. And I'll be sending them, but it basically says, hey, here's our project. Please send us a scope of work and a quote to complete the project, the management of the project. So with that, as long as you guys are okay with us moving forward with Fuss and O'Neill, I can go ahead and send that letter off, get that official project, quote, and then we can make a final decision about what we want to do, whether it's something we get on right now. I mean, it almost has to be if we want to keep the grant money. But we can at least get a quote from Fuss and O'Neill to see what that additional expense might be. And like I stated last time, it's not a situation where it's me saying, well, I know Steve did it, but I don't really want to. I can't at this point. I am not a registered municipal project manager, which is what they're looking for, with a resume of all the municipal projects that I've completed. I do not have that. So it's not a situation where I could save us the money by just saying, I'll just do it. I can't do that. So we have to have this project manager. I can get that quote from them with your guys' approval to move forward. If we get that from them and decide, hey, it's not for us, we can go back to the drawing board, I guess, in terms of who we chose. But with this process, it wasn't like I could send out to these 6 companies and say, hey, everybody pitch in. Because they're working on municipal projects all around the state. Like, you either use them or you don't use them. So I can request the quote from them, and we can further the discussion then, as long as you guys are okay with me reaching out to Fuss and O'Neill.
I'm fine with that.
Go for it.
I'm good with it.
And Steve might have had those credentials. Ken didn't, and we did employ a company to help us with Valley Trail Part A up through the village. So this is not unusual. There is money in the budget for this. There's always been money budgeted for engineering and things like that too. So that money has been in the economic development budget for too long. So
Right. I think, Vicky, I mean, I remember we're doing this. I think we had an engineer on the project. We didn't have what this next person is, the municipality. That was basically Ken, because basically we took in bids for the three projects, and they were awarded, and they basically were running the whole thing. It was just when things occurred that went wrong that we would have to come to the town with. So I'm just kind of just wondering.
We had a guy who was literally on site through the course of the project. I thought
it was the engineer company that we'd hired.
No, it was another person that we hired, because it was too much for somebody who doesn't have that experience as well, on top of everything else. Yes, Eric.
And the way Ross explained this to me, all of these companies are well versed in the pecking order of the VTDOT and how these projects work. Whereas, even if I could do it, you guys would end up paying me a ton of money just to try to limp through it, where these guys can just say, here's what we need to do, here's what it needs to be done by, and it's just done.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep. So I will reach out to them and I will report back.
Joe, hold on. Joe, did you have something?
No, I said good luck. I said it's just, I'm sure it's going to be a percentage of the job more than likely, or an hourly fee.
Okay.
So we'll see what it is.
All right. General ED updates, Eric.
Okay, real quick. So Deerfield Valley Resiliency Team, we are in the process of reaching back out to all of the businesses. It's been, I don't know, probably 5 to 6 months since we've had one-on-one conversations with each and every business. I mean, we've talked to basically everybody here and there, but we're really making a concerted effort to reach out to everybody individually again, just to see where everybody is and see what may or may not be needed at this time. The Village Center designation, I talked to Vicky on this the other day. My my thoughts on a timeline were pretty optimistic, I guess. Because we are completely resubmitting the application, it's going to take a little bit longer than I expected. I have, at this point, worked with Jeff Nugent to update the maps, both in East Dover and West Dover, as well as started collecting the photos that go along with that. I was also explaining to Vicky that I'm working directly with Richard Amore, who is the contact at the state who runs this program. And he's working side by side with me, literally reviewing every piece that I'm putting together to say, yes, my board will approve this, or no, my board will not. It's going to end up saving us time in the long run, but the overall, project will take a little bit longer than what I expected. So as soon as I have more stuff to put in front of you guys, you will absolutely see it. But I am just working with Richard right now to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row before I have you guys sign anything to send to the state. Any questions on that? Okay. Just an update, the Trails and Recreation Committee did meet last Tuesday for the first time. It was a really great meeting. I think that those are going to really help us to shape the way that we look at trails and recreation in Dover. So that's exciting stuff. The video is available on discoverdover.com under the Trails and Rec Committee section, if you have interest in, and the minutes are there as well if you have interest in checking up on that. I did receive an update from the company Municode that we chose to do the website with. They've sent me our initial package. I'm literally I got it today and I almost have it all filled out. So I'll be sending that back to them, and we should see some movement on design and things here over the next couple of weeks for the town website. So really exciting news there. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you. And Jeanette did send the board the minutes of the Trails and Rec Committee. So thank you, Jeanette. So everybody has seen that. So that's great. Thank you. I'd like a motion to go into the Board of Liquor Control.
I move that we go into the Board of Liquor Control.
Second.
Joe, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we have a first-class liquor license for the Sawmill, doing business as Sawmill Bar and Table, TWG Hospitality Group LLC, DBA Lodge at Mount Snow, Two Dogs LLC, DBA Dover Bar and Grill. Randy, do you have any problems with any of those for their first-class liquor license? No.
No.
He's shaking his head no.
No.
Okay, so shall we approve? Yes, Jeanette. Do you want me
Sorry, I was
to
gonna
do them
say-
as a group?
Oh, that's fine. I was just gonna say, Richard has reviewed them as well and he's okay.
Okay, thank you as well. Okay. All right, so can somebody make a motion to approve the 3 first-class liquor licenses?
So I move that we approve the first-class liquor licenses for the Sawmill LLC, DBA Sawmill Bar and Table, TWG Hospitality Group LLC, DBA Lodge at Mount Snow, and Two Dogs LLC, DBA Dover Bar and Grill.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 That waves. Okay, now we have third-class liquor licenses for the same 3 properties. The Sawmill LLC, TWG Hospitality Group, and Two Dogs LLC. So can somebody make a motion to approve the third-class license?
I make a motion that we approve the third-class licenses for the Sawmill LLC, TWG Hospitality Group, and Two Dogs LLC.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Aye.
Now we have 2 outside consumption permits, one for the Sawmill LLC, DBA Sawmill Bar and Table, and Two Dogs LLC, DBA Dover Bar and Grill. No issues with that either, Randy?
All set.
Okay,
So make a motion that we approve the outside consumption permits for the Sawmill LLC, DBA Sawmill Bar and Table, and Two Dogs LLC, DBA Dover Bar and Grill.
Second.
Second.
oh, Dan, get in on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Can I have a motion? Jeanette, hold on a moment.
Do you want to, because all those need to be signed also by the board. So do you want to make a motion for me to do that as well? To sign all of these applications?
Yes.
I make a
Yeah.
motion that we authorize Jeanette Eckert to sign all of the approved liquor licenses on behalf of the Board of Selectmen.
Second,
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
aye,
I'd like a motion to come out of the Board of Liquor Control.
So moved.
Second,
second,
Aye.
all in favor? Aye. Okay.
aye,
Consent agenda. We need to approve the minutes of February 2nd, 2021.
So moved.
Everybody was here.
second,
Any changes, discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
We also need to approve the warrants of February 6, 2021 for $113,478.30.
I make a motion, we approve the warrants of February 6, 2021 for $113,478.30.
Second.
Joe seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Okay, we have a couple of FYIs. A thank you from Memorial Hall Center for the Arts. I think the whole board got this, but the Board of Directors expresses its sincere appreciation for your generous contribution to the Memorial Hall Center for the Arts, MHCA, in June 2020. Your donation validates the mission of MHCA by financially committing to the success. Your contribution helps ensure that Dover Cinema will continue its new mission of cinema, as well as helping support its progress of returning to its original mission of producing and presenting the best in concert and theater. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, Dan Fasilla. This was the nonprofit economic development grant program that we had. So that's what that was. And we also have an FYI for the local hazard mitigation public meeting next Thursday, the 25th of March, from 3 to 6 via Zoom. Jeanette's gonna, huh?
That's next month, not next
Or
Thursday.
next month. Next
Yeah,
month. Oh, boy.
March. Yeah.
Next March 25th.
Yeah.
So we better keep reminding people about this.
Okay.
But you're gonna warn that as a meeting, just in case we have 3
Yes.
people show up. Very good. Thank you. Sorry, my bad. Do we have any liaison reports? No. I need to go have an executive session briefly for personnel.
Motion to go into executive session for personnel at 7:13.
Second.
Bye. Thank you all.